Joined newly for today. Mohan, I think Mohan has joined today. I guess someone called Mohan Reddy has joined. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Hi, good morning. So we will start with our class. Actually, Mohan, we are working in actually a model. So what I mean to say here is we have a clear syllabus. So we are going according to the syllabus. So we will actually start with Python first. So once we complete Python in 1 week, then we'll move into the Selenium. So we'll see Selenium and then frameworks, and then we'll see API testing, we'll see manual testing, agile. So it's like a combination. Everything we'll try to cover over here. So, yeah. So coming to the second topic, like I hope everyone has installed this Python in their system. So I think both of you have
Yes,
installed Python. Yes, fine.
yes, Nikhil, installed.
Yeah. So today we will start with something called identifiers and we'll work on it accordingly. Yeah. So basically, what are identifiers? Identifiers are actually rules to deploy. So once ever you installed it, just click on IDLE. You can able to see this. Ideally, yesterday you have installed a version of 3.9.2. You'll find that 3.9.2 like this. So just give me a minute. Yeah, you'll find like this. Okay. So before I start, I would just give you some basic example. So this is a place where you write your code and execute. So this is called as actually shell. We say it is a shell, or you can say ideally. Is it a right way of defining a variable? Can I create a variable like this? Can I create a variable like that? Please go on mute. No, please go on mute. The other one, whoever are there. Hello. Yeah, fine. Yeah, please go on mute. No. Yes, yes. Fine. So just let me know whether is a right way to define a variable or not. Is it a right way to define a variable or not, as per your knowledge? So this is the way you define actually a variable. So is it a right way to define a variable? Yeah, this is the right way to define. Is it a right way to define a variable? As I said you yesterday, so we can define a variable without any data type. Without using any data type, you can define a variable like instead of int, float, and all, you can say a equal to 20, b equal to 53.2. So it will understand what kind of data type it is. I can say type of, what is the type of a. The type of a is what? Type of a is an integer data type. So what is the type of b? So type of b is a float data type. Okay, I can also define a variable like this with double quotes. Anything that is defined in double quotes is called as a string. So if I say type of c, what is type of c? It will be a string. It has a string data type. So what I'm asking is, I need to know how to define actually a variable. So how the variable is defined, uh, how the variable is defined. So what are the different rules to define a variable? Because as I said you, when I want to define any variable possibility, I can define without any data type. So can I define a variable like this? Equal to 250. Can I define a variable like this? I can still define a variable like this. So I need to actually know the rules of defining a variable. What are the different rules? So what are the actually, these are called the rules to define the variable. or you can say the class, variable, function. So all these are called as identifiers. So there are certain rules which are been provided. So once you are clear with the rules, you know what are actually the right way of defining variables and what is the wrong way of defining variables. If you see here, there are totally 5 rules, out of which 4 rules are mandatory. Okay, so identifiers. So I can say you Python is a case sensitive. From the down I'm coming, you cannot use different cases. What I mean to say, I say a equal to 10. Okay, can I say capital A to print it? If I say A, it will print that A. So can I say, or otherwise, can I say print A? Can I say print capital A? I cannot say print capital A. The reason because you have defined a variable which is a small caps A, and you are trying to print capital A. So which is again not possible. So when you enter it, you will get an error saying that there is no name called A is defined. So you can only print a small a. Understood, right? So Python is purely a case sensitive language. You cannot, you got the output right. You have defined a equal to 10. You are saying print a. This is a error. So again you are printing small a. You are getting out. So what you need to understand here is you cannot able to change the case sensitivity of your variable. So this is very important. This is one rule. This is one rule you cannot take. Second rule, there are certain keywords in Python. Okay, so you need to say import keyword keyword dot kw list. So there are certain keywords. There are certain keywords. All these are keywords. Okay, you cannot mention any keyword as your variable, or you can say any keyword cannot be used as an identifier. False, none, true. So what are these keywords? Keywords are actually inbuilt words. They are already built-in words as part of Python. They are being defined for some particular use. Okay, they are already built by your system. Whenever you are installing Python, all these keywords can be installed by default. So return, try, while, with. You cannot say something like in a for loop. You cannot say for equal to 100. Can I say for equal to 100? I cannot say if equal to 200. Okay, I cannot say try equal to 100. Can I say try equal to 100? So I cannot say these words because you see these are actually been defined as for someone. You know, basically if you know any other programming language, you understand that you cannot use these things because this cannot it has its own particular purpose. Every keyword has its own particular purpose. Every keyword is defined for some or other purpose. So you cannot able to define, you cannot able to use any keywords as a variable. Keywords cannot be used as a variable. So if I use it, see what happens. So I'll say for. For what is for used? For is basically used to loop. For loop we use for. You cannot say for equal to 100. If I do it, I'll get error saying that syntax error, invalid syntax. I cannot use any keywords as your identifiers. Okay. So that is the second step. Keywords cannot be, identifiers cannot be keywords. No special characters except underscore. This is called underscore. Okay, you can write underscore. Can be is used as identifiers. Is used as identifier. What do you mean by that? I'll explain. You cannot use any special characters. Like what I mean to say, ABC at the rate, dollar symbol, hash symbol, dollar symbol, percentage symbol, okay, star symbol equal to 200. You will get error. Okay, it is again an invalid syntax. You cannot say ABC at the rate equal to 200. Again, it is error. Okay, ABC at the rate equal to 200 is error. So This is a syntax error. So what you need to understand, you cannot use any of these special characters. All these are special characters. You can only use underscore, and you can use n number of times underscore. You can also say underscore a equal to 1. This is also right, you know. This is a right variable. You are not getting output. You say underscore a, the value will be printed. Okay, you can say underscore 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 a equal to 200. This is also right. There is no problem with this. Understood, right? You can use any times underscore, and you can use any times except underscore. You cannot use anything. Understood, right? You can use any variable type. You can use any variable. So you can use any variable, but that should consist of only underscore. All these are special characters. You're getting right. At the rate, as symbol, dollar symbol. So whatever you do, shift with this, the second line characters in your keyboard. So you say they are special characters. So all these special characters cannot be considered in Python as a variable or as a class, as a method. Okay, they can be only considered. I mean, they cannot be considered. So only underscore is considered. You need to understand that only underscore can be taken as this. So are you guys getting? Everyone is getting? You can message if you can't speak.
Yes, right.
What about others? Okay. What about others? Deepali is there, and then Mohan Reddy is there. Mohan Reddy,
Basically,
you are able to understand? Okay. Mohan Reddy, are you active? Just message if you can't speak.
an identifier or a variable must be containing only three set of characters, letters,
Yeah,
numbers, and underscore.
understood. Yes, that's true.
Either one of
No,
them
no.
or
Yeah, any one of them or all together or any two of them, whatever it is. But you can also say, see, you can also say only underscore equal to 10. So I don't have anything. Okay, this is also right. There is no problem. Got it right? See, that
yeah,
is
yeah,
not
yeah.
a right way. That is not a right way. That is not the proper way. You should not do that. But that is
Yes,
that can be possible. So we are all
yes,
seeing the possibilities. So you cannot use underscore equal to 200 or underscore equal to some value. That is a wrong way. But I,
yeah.
I, I ask you to maintain some proper syntax. The syntax means normally, you should either use characters or a combination of numbers and characters.
That is not a good
So
programming practice. Yes, right.
yes, yes. Number should not come first for identifiers. What does it mean? So I cannot say one underscore abc equal to 200. Understood, right? Okay, I'll get an error. If number come first, I'll get a syntax error. Numbers should not come first. Numbers can be any time. Numbers can be any things, but any time it can come. This is right because the character came first. So numbers should not come first. After that, numbers can come many times. Characters can come many times. You see, this is also right. So you should not use any numbers. You cannot use any numbers. Is it a right way? I'll show you. Tell me, is it a right programming? I mean, is it a right variable or not? Is it a right variable to create?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that is right because underscore came first. It can be underscore, it can be a character, it can be alphabet, but it should not be a number. Number, once it comes first, it cannot be considered. So there are the four rules. The four rules is keywords cannot be identifiers except underscore. No special characters can be identifier. Identifier is considering the special cases. I mean to say the case sensitivity. So you cannot use any different cases for that. Okay, and number should not come first as an identifier. And the right practice cannot be only underscore, only the numbers, or only the characters. Should be a combination. So you can use anyway. You can just use a equal to 200, b equal to 200. that is also considered. But yeah, I mean to say the right practice should be a combination of characters and numbers. So like a1 equal to 200, something like this. Okay, but yeah, you can use still, that's up to you. So we are seeing the possibilities of what can be used, what cannot be used. I'll give you some questions, you just need to say whether it is possible or not. Okay, so if you want to write multiple lines, go here and do it. Yeah, tell me yes or no for each and everything. First one, second one, third one, and all. Yeah, just tell me whether we can do it or not.
First one is fine. Second one is also fine. Third one is fine, but fourth one is wrong. Fifth one is fine. Six, and the sixth one is wrong. Seventh one is fine. Fourth one and sixth one is wrong.
Now tell me. Now tell me.
Fourth one and the sixth one is wrong, because fourth one contains special characters. Sixth one comes with a number at first.
Yeah. Now tell me. Now tell me.
Yes, even now only 4 and 6 are wrong. Others are right.
Yes. Yes. Fine. Can I use the capital letters?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, that is a way. So there is no issues using the capital letters. That's up to us to use wherever we want. So we have a clear definition. So the definition can be numbers, can be characters, both positive or negative, or I mean, uppercase or lowercase. It doesn't matter. So we just need to understand whether we are trying to, yeah, we just need to understand whether we are trying to following the process. So anything can be considered as a variable. So these are called identifiers. So yeah, you're clear. You're clear. So these are called identifiers. So identifiers are being defined in such a way. They have some particular ways the rules are defined. So according to that rules, we have to follow. So we have understood about the way how these are defined. So we need to know what are the different possibilities of defining the values for that identifiers. Okay, for that variable. So variable should consist of some values. What are those values? How these values are being defined? So there are certain rules. So you say them as literals. Literals are nothing but the values for the variable, class, and function. So it is not only applicable for the variables. So you define any class, or you define any function. Even that function should be the same way. The function should be also the same way. The function should also maintained in the same way as things. So what I feel actually, what I am feeling, um, everyone whoever is there in the batch should uh, we will try to move our class to some extent, maybe 7:30 or 8 in the coming days. The reason because it's very difficult for everyone to be online, because a lot of people are joining after 7:30 and all. Let's see other all feasible time, and no, don't miss even a single day class. The reason because we will discuss a lot of things, and sometimes you will not get notes also that day, so you may miss it. So what I say is like, don't try to miss any class as well as of such. So if you miss, you try to plan it before, how can it can be covered in the other cases. Okay, so don't try to miss any class. So we will complete today literals, so we'll also see literals today. Then after we see literals, we'll go with something called data types. Okay, so I hope everyone is clear, right? So you just need to follow each and every step we'll be discussing, no worries. Just need to follow on everyday classes. So till the last day the process will be very slow. Very slow, I mean to say, like very clear to you. Everything we'll discuss in that point. Okay, so you can ask me any doubts only on the end of the class. Please don't ask me any questions, I mean to say, like questions related to your personal things, and also question related to the course, I mean subject also. You write it in a notes, or mark it out, and you can ask me at the end. I'll give you 5 minutes, last 5 minutes, for asking doubts. So that will be the procedure that we need to follow, so that the class won't be disturbed, and I will get a feasible time to discuss whatever I plan to discuss that day. Okay, this is actually the process we have to follow. Okay, clear, right? No class, you should not miss any class. And second thing is that you ask the doubts only at the end of the class. So every class will be discussed in a very clear and neater way. Okay, every topic is discussed in a very neater way till the end of the course, complete course. So you don't need to worry about that. So everyone has their syllabus copy. You can find it in the website, Durga's website, so that you can also find it out. Okay. uh, Anything else, anything else? So no, right? So I will ask you, you just need to message whenever you feel, whenever I ask you whether you understood or not. You can just message yes or no. If no, we will discuss at the end of the class. Okay, that is a process. Anything, please note it out and we'll discuss at the end of the class. Any doubts can be accepted. Okay, any doubts will be accepted. Thank you. So literals are what? Literals are the values. So we have seen that what are the ways to define, what are the ways, what are the proper ways to define a variable. So what are the different ways to define a value for it? Or you have to understand what are the different possibilities of defining a variable. So this is an integer. This is an integer because integer is what? Anything that lies between minus infinity to infinity is an integer. So 200 is an integer. So I can also define a equal to Nikhil. This is called a string because string is something that is a combination of characters. So you can also say something like b equal to 20.2. This is a float value. So this is also been considered. Okay. There is something called c equal to a plus bj. There is something called complex data type, which is in the format of a plus bj format. That means 2 plus 3j. If I say 2 plus 3j, so here you would have known, you understood, you would have heard about something called a plus bi in complex numbers when you're understanding, or when you're trying to follow, when you're trying to your 10th or any other classes. You heard about something called complex numbers. Anything is in the format of a plus bi is a complex number. A is a real part of it and b is called as imaginary part. So very similar to that, your Python also accepts a complex input, okay, which can consist of, which is in the format of a plus bj, not bi, it is bj. J can be a small letter or a capital letter. You can also use j, small j or capital J. So here 2 is called as a real part and 3 is called as the imaginary part. So it considers it. You can able to do any valuations or calculation with the complex number also. Okay. So if I say c equal to 2 plus 2 3j, yes, it accepts. So when I understand what is the data type of C, it gives me complex data type. Okay. What is the data type of A? What is the data type of A? A is a string data type, because you can understand here, right? A is a string data type, which is in A equal to Nikhil. So B equal to, what is the type of B? What is the data type of B? Sorry, it is, yeah. What is the data type of B? Data type of B is float value. So what is the data type of C? C is a complex. Understood, right? So suppose think that you just understand A equal to 100. Again I say A equal to 200. If I print A, what is the output I'll get? 200. Yes, it will not consider 100. There is something called garbage collector in Python, which will remove that element, the A equal to 100, because that element is not used. That variable is not used. So you need to understand the latest assignment of that element is that element. Okay, A equal to whatever that latest it is assigned with some value, that value will be the final value for that variable. Understood, right? So the concept you need to understand here. It creates a new object and then prints. So that is a difference between Python and other languages. It only just no doesn't map with the older value. It creates a new object. It doesn't just change the value. It creates a new object. So that is what you need to understand in Python. Okay. So you have to understand every time new assignment. So I can use n number of times, but the latest whichever assigning is that value present. Okay, a is not the previous value set anymore. They will be removed automatically by your garbage. So whatever you are writing code, it is been executed by your Python interpreter. So whenever you are downloading Python interpreter is also is been also installed. What actually Python interpreter will do, it understands your language. Each and every line of your code is been understood by it, and it gives you the output, or it decodes it and gives you output, so that user can able to understand. So the work of that interpreter, I said you right, there is something called compiler and interpreter. There are two things. All the programming languages consist of compiler, all the scripting languages consist of interpreter. So Python has its own interpreter, Python interpreter. So JavaScript is also a scripting language. Okay, all the scripting languages has its own interpreters. So Python has its own interpreter which can understand. So Python which can understand your code. So that's why you don't need to initialize with any data types. You can directly define a variable. All these things that it is actually taking care. Okay, it is taking care. You are not worrying much. So it has been built in such a way it can able to understand, it can able to decode, it can able to compile, execute the output, give you the output. So that's what you need to understand accordingly. Okay, so if you see, there are certain types of literals. If you see, there are numeric literals. There are totally four types basically: numeric, string, special literals, and boolean literals. So you can only use four types of literals as a values. So one is a numeric, other is string, other is special, other is boolean. So what is numeric? Numeric is nothing but int, float, and complex. So you can define any variable which is of integer. Integer has no size. In Python, you can define any variable with n number of size. You can define any variable with any number of size of integer. You can say 200 zeros at infinity also you can create. Similarly, for float, you can also define a float variable. Float variable to the maximum of 15 decimal points. So what I mean to say, suppose I say d equal to 20.336, something like this. Okay, if I take even 100 times, okay, it will not consider all these things. It will only consider decimal. This is called decimal point. 15 to the maximum 15 decimal points. Okay, see, I have written something else. I have written in the next line. I should not write right in the next line. What I mean to say, you just need to understand. See, I am defining a huge variable which is consisting of more than 15. If I say d, it only takes to 15 max. Understood, right? It only consider to the 15 max. So that is what you need to understand. Okay, to the maximum 15. So float value. Complex should be is in the format of a plus bj. So it should consist of a plus bj. Sometimes you only say, suppose v equal to 3j. What do you mean by that? 3 small j. So that means it consists of 0 real part. Okay, it consists of 0 real part and 3 imaginary part. You can also define like that. You can also define. Okay, you can also define like this. Understood, right? You can also define. You can also define like this. And there is something called conversions. You can able to convert. I'll explain you in that process. So you can also define a
Can we,
variable like,
sorry to interrupt. Can we print that complex variables?
yeah, that's what we printed, right? V equal to 3j.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so what I mean to say, this is the process we follow up. Then so you can use any integer, you can use any float, you can use any complex can be also considered as a numeric. You say all these three as a numeric literals can be integer, can be float, can be a complex. So you cannot use anything except this. Okay, in Python you cannot use anything except this. These are called numeric literals. There are string literals. Anything is in the format of either single quote or double quote or triple quotes is considered as uh, you know uh, string literals. Okay, we have numeric literals and string literals. So I can define any value for it. It doesn't have any, what do you say, it has no restrictions for providing the special characters or anything. Got it, right? You can use any special characters as a value, as a string within double quotes. You can also use within single quotes. You can use in single quotes, you can use in double quotes, you can also use in triple quotes. Okay, double, single and triple quotes are accepted. But the difference is when you're using single or double quote, you have to complete that whole string in one line. You cannot use, you cannot come down. Okay, you cannot press enter and continue using that string. So when you're using a single quote, the single quote, you have to complete the whole string defining in one line itself. You cannot, if I enter it, I'll get error. I should not enter it. I can only say some value, whatever the value it is, but it should close it in the one line. If it is a single or double quotation. So this is right. If I print A, I'll get output. So I can also use double quotes. Double quotes, I can define any variable, but that should be completed in single line. Okay. See, this is also right. If you are using triple quotes, 1, 2, 3, then you can enter any number of lines. Understood, right? Any number of lines. Yeah, this is accepted. Now you see it is been taken as next line. Okay, it's been considered as next line. So understood, right? So you should be able to do it accordingly. So this is actually the way you define string literals. So string literals should be either single or double or triple. Generally we use double quotes, which is generally used, but there are three ways acceptable. Three ways acceptable by it. You can use three ways. Okay. So but it is generally used double quotes. You have to use double quotes to define any string normally, but you can able to use three things. You can use single or double or triple. Everything is acceptable. Triple also you can use single line, double line, three lines. Triple means, that means multi-line string. That means you can provide multi-line string also. So it doesn't mean that within one line you cannot complete. You can still complete. So triple means it accepts to multiple lines. Double means it accepts only single line. Single means it accepts only single line. So there is, you can use double or single or triple. That means it depends on your value of string. You have to utilize whatever the quotations it is. It accepts all the three ways, and there is no problem using it. Okay. So we have something called special literals. Special literals. You can define any variable with capital NONE. Okay, none. That means no value assigned to it. See, you are not getting any output. If I print A, I'm not getting any output. Okay, because it is not defined with any value. So you have to define any variable with capital NONE. This is called as special literal. This is called as a special literal. In Python, you use only, either you can use a string or integer or none or none. You can also define any variable with none. None means special literal. It is called as a special literal. None means no value assigned to it. So if you print it also, you will not get any output. So you can also define capital TRUE, Boolean literals, or B equal to FALSE. Okay, A is true, B is false. You can define the Boolean literals also. Understood, right? You can define the Boolean literals also. But that should be capital T. You cannot use your own ways. You cannot say A equal to TRUE. It is not considered. It should be capital TRUE and capital FALSE. The reason, because these are called Boolean literals. You can define any variables with this value. So what are the total different ways? We have integers, float, and then complex. They called as numeric, and then string literals. Okay, we have string literals, which is single quote, double quote, triple quotes, and we have special literal, none. We have Boolean literals, true and false. So all this can be considered as the value. So you can use any of this except, or only any of this to define any value to a variable. Okay, this is actually been accepted for any literals. So literals are actually the values that has to be provided to the identifiers. So it's not a particularly variables, it's called identifiers. So it can be a class, it can be a function as well. So you need to understand accordingly how these are defined. Okay. Yeah. So any doubts before I start your data types? To some extent today we'll see not much. To some extent we'll see the data types, and then we'll see tomorrow we'll possibly start with other data type part. Okay. So we will just start with data types today. Any doubts before I go there? Any doubts for? Okay, guys. So we will see about data type. So what is basically a data type is? So data type is means the type of data that you provide for a variable, or you can say the type of data that has been assigned to a variable. So if you see here, there are totally many types of data types, out of which there are the important data types you need to understand. So you have numbers, you have string. So numbers data type, string data type, list data type, list. We say list. List is similar to array in Python. Tuple data type, you can say tuple, tuple. I don't care about the pronunciation, but yeah, understanding is like you need to understand all these things. What is the data type thing? So list, tuple, set, dictionary. So you need to know all the data types in a very clear way, because all these data types you will be using throughout your lifetime. Okay, not 1 day, 2 days. You see any program in the world you write, no matter you are a uh, very standard architect, you should use these data types in your lifetime. So that's why I prefer everyone. I mean, what I mean to say here is everyone should know all the data types, what are there in Python, and how this data types have been working, what is the scope of this data types, what are the different inbuilt methods of this data types. Everything should be known by you. Okay. So we will see only the number data types as of today. So I don't worry, there are a lot of time to go. We see everything, every data type in a very detailed way. We'll see, okay, as we progress. Okay. So what is number data types? Number data types is very similar to that numeric literals, whatever we said. So number data types can be an integer, can be a float, can be a complex. It can be a integer, it can be a float, it can be a complex. But how do we work on this is what we have to see, because number data type means the data types which can be an integer. So all these three are called as a number data types. See, similar we have seen numeric, right? Very similarly, so integer or float or complex, you say them as number data types. You say them as number data types. But here we need to see type conversions. So how do we convert from one data type to other data type? So majorly, I have defined a variable equal to a equal to 200. I want to convert it into what? I want to convert it into a I want to convert it into a float data type, because when I say a equal to 200, 200 means here 200 means here it is a integer data type. So I want to convert this integer data type into a float data type. So once I want to convert integer into a float, I need to say some variable b equal to float of a. That means, what is the meaning of it? I am trying to create a variable called b. Okay, b is equal to, I'm trying to change the float of a. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to convert the a into the float and assigning that variable value to the b. So if I print b, I'll get b equal to 200.0, because every float value should have some decimal value. So as it is an integer which is 200, so which can be maximum gone to zero point 0. So you are understanding, right, what we are trying to do? We are defining a variable called b. B is nothing but it is a float version of a. So a float version is what? A float version is 200.0. Understood, right? 200.0. So now B becomes what? What is the type of B? Type of B is a float data type because B is now converted. What is the type of A? Type of A is still integer data type because A we are not converting. So this is the way you convert. You also convert, integer into float into integer also. So B equal to what? B is nothing but float, right? I can say C equal to int of B. You're getting right, int of B. So you're trying to say C, you're converting C into an integer. Okay, B is a float value. For the float value B, you're trying to convert to an integer. So if I print C, I will, this point 0 is removed now because C will become an integer. So C will again become a type. What is the type of C? C will become an integer data type. So I hope you are getting right. Everyone is getting right. A very simple way, simpler understanding way. Any doubts you have, you can ask me at any point of time. Okay. Okay. So it's simple. It is very simple, guys. I am trying to convert from one data type to other data types. So I have said a equal to 200. 200 is an integer. So you are trying to convert 200 into a float data type. So how do you do that? Before, if you want to convert anything, you need to first create a variable, some variable like b or whatever it is, equal to float of a. That means you're converting a into the float data type and you're assigning that to b. So that's what, if I print b, now it is 200.0. What is the type of b? Type means what is the data type of b? B is a float data type. It belongs to a class called float. So but a is an integer because you are not converting a. So here what you are doing, you are again converting the float into the integer. So how do you convert a float into integer? You say some variable equal to integer of the float value. B is a float, right? So if I print C, C becomes a integer. So this is the way you generally try to convert one data type to other. So I will also say something like complex. I said you right, there are three types of data types called as number data type. Okay, number data type. One is float, one is int, and other is complex number. So anything is in the format of a plus bj. Anything is in the format of a plus bj, right? A can be anything and b can be anything, but that should be in the format of a plus bj. Okay, a can be a number, a can be a string, it can be a, a can be any number, a can be a float, or a can be a integer. It cannot be any other number except float or integer. So a plus bj format, it is called as a complex. So I want to convert the complex number into integer. Is it possible? Let me do in a reverse way. I want to convert a integer into a complex. How do I do that? Integer into a complex. So now here a is what? So c is what? C is an integer, right? 200 is an integer. So I will say d equal to something like, e equal to complex of d. Complex of d. That means what? I'm trying to convert e to a complex variable. Complex of a. Understood, right? Complex of a. I'm trying to convert a into a complex variable. I'm assigning to e. Understood, right? A is an integer, guys. What is A? A is an integer. C is an integer. C is an integer. You're getting right? I'm converting that C into a complex data type. C is having only 200. How do I convert 200 into A plus BJ format? I can able to convert. I can convert 200 plus 0j. My imaginary part will become 0. Understood, right? If I print E, it is 200 plus 0j. Understood, right? You're getting right, everyone? I cannot convert a complex into a integer, because you see, if I want to convert a complex into an integer, what I need to do, d is a complex variable. How do I convert complex into an integer? I cannot say something like f equal to int of d. I cannot say int of d. If I say, I'll get an error. Cannot convert complex into integer because integer will have only the integer type. That means it will have only the values from minus infinity to infinity. But if you see d consists of real and imaginary part. So real part I can consider, but what about imaginary? It should not be considered. So I cannot do this way. Anything is in this format cannot be converted into the integer data type, which is not possible. But vice versa can be possible, because integer you can say 200 plus 0j. Here you cannot say this one, you cannot convert back into this 200 or 2 plus 3, or you cannot say 2, because 3j will be removed. I should not remove the value that is assigned. So you cannot convert a complex into an integer. You can only do integer to complex. You can do float to integer. You can do integer to float. You can do integer to complex. You cannot do complex to integer. So all these things, type conversions, you need to know, very basic. It is not very difficult. So you can able to convert from one data type to other data type. You need to understand how this can be done. So these are called number data types. Any data type which can be an integer, which can be a float, or can be a complex, are called number data types. And within that number data type, you need to understand how do I convert from one form to other form. How can I convert an integer into a float, or float into an integer into a complex, not complex into integer. It's not possible. Complex into integer is not possible. Okay. So these are called integer number data types. What are these? Number data types. Number data types are integers, complex, and then float variables. All these three are called number. So all these three will be consisted into one common data type called number data types. So I hope everyone is clear, right? So from tomorrow, let's see how do we progress it. I want everyone to be attentive in the class, and please join on time. If it is not possible, because to join on time, let's try to move some our schedule within next 10 days or 15 days. Till then we have to adjust for these timings. Yeah, I want to ask other people, like, anyone join newly today? So for today it is enough. Anyone join newly today? You can message, or you can just speak out. Ramya, I think Ramya. What about
Yeah,
Mohan? Ramya, you
I
have joined
joined.
newly, right?
Yes.
Yeah, do you have any experience in Python or Java, or Selenium?
No.
Okay, you have any experience in manual testing?
Yeah.
Okay, how many years?
6 plus.
6 plus years. Fine. Any, what about the other one, Mohan Reddy?
So I have experience in Python, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. So guys, what actually we are going to see, we have a proper stipulated standard schedule. So the schedule is
Six months.
designed in such a way, we have actually, yeah, we have actually defined in such a way, a syllabus will consist of all the things. So we are trying to start it from the scratch. Okay, so even you have experience in Java, Python, or no experience in Python, so we are going to start it from our scratch. We are going to see each and every topic of, Python completely, to the overview of all the topics. Okay, which is again an extra course. Our target is only Selenium with Python, but we are discussing Python course also. That is our first thing. Later we will discuss about all the Selenium concepts. Then we will discuss about the framework. So you don't worry what exactly the market standards are there, market requirements are there. We have designed our own structure in such a way so that it would be helpful for everyone, every sector of people. Your experience or zero experience, or your fresher, you're changing from one domain to other domain. So we are teaching in such a way, like we are designing the structure in such a way which can help for all the structures, all the sectors of people. So we will start with Python, complete all the Python, then complete our Selenium, all the components of Selenium. When we'll see complete approach of frameworks, how the frameworks are working in Python, what are the different types of frameworks we have. Then we'll also see Git and Jenkins, version control, and CI/CD pipeline, how your real-time project consists of, what you need to do on real-time everyday basis. Then we'll see end-to-end project, one end-to-end project. We'll see completely how this architecture is defined and all. So we'll see complete automation architecture, how it is defined and how it has been built. So on top of it, we'll also see API testing. API testing is an additional course which we'll be seeing as part of it. Understood, right? So API testing, completely API discussion of Postman tool we'll see. On top of it, we'll also see Agile, and we'll also see manual testing to some extent. Then I'll also share you some 50 to 60 plus HR contacts. So whom you can contact and you can get the requirements. You will get a lot of requirements. They'll have everyday basis. You can talk with them also. So this is the procedure we need to follow.
Sir, I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yes, please.
I've done some courses before in Python, like creating some light programs and all. Selenium also I attended with Java, but I just attended, but not I don't have anything real time in Selenium or Python. So like in my current project, it's a web application based on .NET. So I have to do automation for that current my web application. So I thought like Python would be more easier because I already have little touch on it. So can we like will it be like flexible to do the test the web application and mobile application or some using Python and Selenium?
Yes, we will see each and every component of web application, how to automate. See, you can see any web application. We'll see how to automate anything. So our target is to check. So by the end of the course, you can automate any web application. Understood, right? We'll see each
Okay.
and every component of web application, how can be automated. We'll also see in the real time how the structure is built and all. Okay.
Okay. Going like
So
page by page, like
yeah,
doing
yeah.
some
Every
maximum.
every line. You can see the syllabus. You will not find the syllabus anywhere. There is no course like most content in the market which consists of Selenium with Python.
Yes,
Nowadays,
I
Selenium with Python is more popular, and every company is migrating or they're trying to transitioning from Java to Python. Understood, right? So it is
yeah.
very, very important and very useful. So you can see the syllabus. Syllabus is very structural. It's a complete standard. We have seen. Uh, we have been doing this from last 1 year. So you don't need to worry about. A lot of people got placed as well. Okay, I'll share you a lot of people contact and all. So I will give you the HR contacts also. So you don't need to worry about that also. Okay, it's my personal. I'll show you how to create your framework, what to say in interviews, and the question they'll ask you should also. Someone is speaking, please go on mute. Someone speaking. Yeah. So I think you're clear, right? Because I has to understand. So everyone should join call every time. We will discuss within next 1 week. We will try to see whether we can move it to the next. 8 o'clock or something like that. Because the reason it is 7 is very difficult for everyone. So as I was saying in from the starting, 7 will be a very difficult case. A lot of people can't join it, right? So
Yes.
we will see
Once,
based on everyone feasibility. We will try to move everyone's feasibility accordingly. We will try to move.
good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
I prefer 8 o'clock, sir. Today I was
Understood.
late.
I understood. That's what I'm saying. Let us see it for 1 week because Python is a very simple. For till we complete this Python, we would continue it in because they don't have slots. See, it is not only the thing that we have to consider from our end. They we have to consider. They say they don't have slots accordingly. Okay, so they have some other commitments for other batches and all stuff. So let us actually plan it. Okay, let us plan it so that it will be feasible for everyone. We cannot force it to each and everyone. It will be feasible to everyone. Everyone is okay, then we can move as per our own feasibility. Okay, we can move it. So we will discuss with each and everyone. So based on that, we can move it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, but I want everyone to be attentive on the class every day. Every day, please 1 week you be prepared so that we will plan it accordingly. How do we take it forward? Okay. So every day, see Python, we will discuss to the overview of all the topics. Whatever we are discussing will be very, very clearly been provided. Each and every topic of your automation, of your Selenium. Okay. I'll give you contacts. You can talk with them as well. People who are placed, what kind of questions, what they will be asking and all. So we will create a WhatsApp group where we'll communicate on everyday basis. Okay, that we will do only when we get the finalized list of the batch. So we need to know how many people are finalized, how many people are yet to be getting finalized. So please let me know as soon as possible. We'll start our group and then we'll communicate over there. I'll share you notes. I'll share you everyday updates. Okay, so that we can discuss that on everyday basis. Clear, right? So if you have any doubts also, you can communicate with me on everyday basis. Even after offline, you can contact me and all. Okay. So
Sir, I have one question.
yeah,
How can we get the syllabus and recordings?
syllabus and recordings you can find in Durga Soft website.
Okay.
Recordings and all you need to ask the team. You need to ask the Durga Soft team.
Okay.
Okay. You have to ask the organizers there. They'll provide you all. So this is the procedure. About the notes, I will share you. Notes will be
8, 10.
shared by me only. Okay. Fine, guys. Then thank you. Any doubts you can ping me. But please try to join everyone on time, and everyone be attentive on every basis, because we will see a lot of things as we progress. See, it is only starting. I'm only discussing very few things. As we progress, there are a lot of things to be discussed. Okay. We will see a lot of real-time implementations and all. Once we will see end-to-end complete framework and all. Okay. Next batch I have. I need to start with the frameworks. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil. Thanks. Bye, Nikhil.
Thank you.
యాక్చువల్ 7:30కి అంట, అదే మన టైం 7:30కి, 8:30, 10 minutes. లాస్ట్ 10 minutes అటెండ్ అయ్యా. అయితే అదే ఇంకా ఫైనలైజ్ అయితే బ్యాచ్ ఇప్పుడు ఇంకా పైథాన్ చెప్తున్నారు బేసిక్స్. అదే అడిగాను ఇక చెయ్యొచ్చా మరి అంటే, ఆయన ఇండియా వాళ్ళందరూ కలిపి, అందుకే లేదంటే 10,000 అడిగేవాళ్ళు. 6,000 అంటే ఇండియాలో ఉన్నామని. అయితే తెలియదు వాళ్ళకి ఇంకా. అయితే ఆయన నేను అడిగాను డౌట్ మామూలుగా, ఇలా మరి సెలీనియం విత్ పైథాన్ అంటే ఇట్లా వెబ్ అప్లికేషన్ .NET దాన్ని ఆటోమేట్ చేయొచ్చు అన్నట్టు అడిగాను. యా ఇవి చెయ్యొచ్చు, ఇప్పుడు అందరు ఎక్కువ మంది ఎవరైనా అదే చెప్తారు, ఏ కోర్స్ చెప్తే దాని నుంచి పోతారు. చెయ్యొచ్చు, ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద అదే అప్పుడు రియల్ టైం ప్రాజెక్ట్ కూడా ఉంది కదా, అన్ని చేయగలుగుతావు నువ్వు అని చెప్పారు. సరే, కాంటాక్ట్స్ కూడా ఉన్నాయి, ఎవరైతే ప్లేస్ అయ్యారో సెలీనియం విత్ పైథాన్ వాళ్ళందరివి షేర్ చేస్తాను. తెలుసు నాకు క్లాస్ ఉందని, నేను దాన్ని అడిగాను, అది నన్ను చూసుకోలేదు నా ఈమెయిల్. నేను 7:30 అంటే IST ప్రకారం చూస్తే నాకు 8:30 అని ఉంది. 1 o'clock అంట. నాకు మెయిల్ పెట్టింది వాళ్ళు రాంగ్ పెట్టారు. ఏంటి Hmm. Dhruva, it's long time. Doctor asked me to write. She's asking in a picture. I'm getting on. Fast to write and work.